I don't have to tell you that Sunday is going to be massive for your Seattle Seahawks. You're taking on the Los Angeles Rams, and it is a battle not just for the division lead, not just for a potential number 2 seed in the NFC, but the chance, depending on what happens on Sunday night, for the Seahawks or the Rams winner to be the number 1 seed in the NFC heading into NFL Week 12. It's Seahawks Today. I'm your host, Will Ortner. You've got questions. I've got answers. And we're going to get this show started with my good friend, Anita Break. Good to see you. I need a break a lot of the day. It can be long. It can be exhausting here at Chat Sports HQ. Can the Seahawks overcome their injuries on Sunday? That injury report list is long. Now, I do think there were a lot of positive signs for the Seahawks when it came to the injury report. A lot of players that were active participants in practice and were active throughout the week for Seattle. Now, I don't know if, injuries are going to be the main factor in this game, whether you win or lose, but injuries are going to be a factor. When you have an injury report list on a Wednesday that has, 12 guys on it, and the Rams have an injury report list that has 2 or 3, one team's a little bit healthier than the other. But I do think that your Seahawks are going to be able to come out and put on a good performance. Their injury issues are not going to be the reason why they win or they lose this game. Anita Break seems to be pretty nervous. That scares me. That worries me a little bit. I need to know, are you nervous for Sunday? Go down below in the comment section. Yes, if you're nervous. No, if you're not. Right now, we're getting more nervous as the day goes on. We've been a little nervous. We've been having conversations with the great Auntie Ann, making sure, that we both calm each other down. Hopefully our Seahawks go out and get the victory. But there's been a lot of quick convos, quick text messages back and forth between me and my great aunt. I should say great aunt. She's not my great aunt. My great aunt. Over this game on Sunday. Yes, you're nervous. No, you're not. Comment section. Dan, the man, Miller. What up, man? Good to see you. Appreciate you, Hall of Fame member. I think Kenneth Walker will get the run game going and get 2 touchdowns. That's a heck of a take. I hope you are right. This Rams defense is really freaking good. But if you can get that outside edge, if Olu Oluwatimi can get things going on the inside, why couldn't Kenneth Walker get going for the Seahawks? Now, right here, we have the Seahawks stats from your top 2 running backs. Obviously, Charbonnet had the big game last week, but what I do think is important when you look at those rushing yards per average for Kenneth Walker, it's a much higher number. The reason it's much higher is because he has bigger explosives. Now, Charbonnet is set up a little bit against this, where he's now running the football in the low red zone and short yardage spots. But what I think is most important with Kenneth Walker, we saw it against Pittsburgh. We've seen flashes of it throughout the rest of the year. When he does get loose, the kid can get gone. He's very patient. It sets up well for this long zone scheme. And I think you've also seen as the year goes on, he gets more and more comfortable with this Clint Kubiak system. As he gets more comfortable with the system, he knows where to look for the holes. He knows how to set up blocks, how to take advantage of mistakes by the defense, and get big runs. Dan, I hope you're right, man. Kenneth Walker going off, getting 2 tutties. That'd be a pretty nice freaking day for your Seattle Seahawks. Eric Kelly! What up, man? Good to see you. Beautiful smile, man. That's awesome. Need to know where your dentist is at. Seahawks defense should be named Era of Terror. Dude, pretty darn good nickname. Everyone knows that you're not a real, legit, good defense for multiple years in the NFL until you have a nickname. Mean Green, that is the North Texas team. But when you talk about the Purple People Eaters, the Steel Curtain, you go down the list. Legion of Boom is the most recent iteration. Great nickname. Eric, I think that's a pretty darn good nickname. A lot of people like Death Zone. A lot of people don't like Death Zone. There's a little bit of middle ground there. Don't be shocked if, hey, maybe Eric's starting something, getting the era of terror going. Tristan Bennett, what up, man? Good to see you. Do you think if we win the Rams, are we going to be the best in the league? Yes. Yeah, I think the Seahawks have a legit conversation right now for being the best in the NFL. I think the Rams also have a conversation for that. I think the Philadelphia Eagles have a convo for that. And I think the Indianapolis Colts probably have an argument for that. Shoot, you know what? I'm probably even going to throw the Kansas City Chiefs in there. So I think that if the Seahawks beat the Rams, you are now ahead of the Rams ever so slightly. But then I also think it's important to mention that if the Eagles fall to the Lions, you're going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC, not just the NFC West, the entire NFC conference. That is huge. And to me, that gives you a very good argument for being the best in the league. I think the Seahawks team has well exceeded expectations. Harry Ascrack! I feel like that's a fake name. I don't feel like that's real. I don't think your mother named you that. All right, Harry, why isn't JSN getting more MVP love? I think this is a fascinating take. Now, Sam Darnold is ranked as the 6th best odds to win the MVP. That is coming to us from the Vegas bookmakers, but there isn't really a conversation around Jaxon Smith-Njigba. And when you look at his stats, I mean, shoot, who's more impressive than him right now? By the way, crazy stat I saw today, JSN has 1,041 receiving yards. The entire Tennessee Titans wide receiving core has 1,052. JSN has 11 less receiving yards than the Tennessee Titans' entire wide receiver core. And he's got 2 more touchdowns. Why isn't he in the conversation? Now, it's mostly because to be an MVP, you kind of have to be a QB. I mean, Saquon Barkley ran for 2,000 yards last year. If he really wanted to, he would have broken the all-time NFL single-season rushing record. He was still never really in the conversation. It was always going to be Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. I think that's really the only reason and the only thing that's holding JSN back. He's been maybe the most important player on your team, and it's crazy to say that with how well Sam Darnold has played, how well some of the players on the defensive side of the football have played. But that's just kind of where I'm at right now. He's not getting the love that he probably deserves just because of the position that he plays. Alexis, what's up? Good to see you. Seahawks Hall of Fame member, I believe. Will, do you believe that Rashid Shaheed can be similarly productive to JSN? Yardage-wise, potentially, but he's going to be a much more boom or bust type of player. Now, what you're asking of the two of them is completely different. JSN, you're asking him to be a possession receiver, to be a receiver that just makes big catches. You're not really sending him deep on vertical routes all that often. Now, obviously, just look at the Arizona Cardinals game. You do it, you were able to complete a pass to him, and he got into the end zone. Where I think it's more about what you're asking more often than not of the two will be where the productiveness kind of changes. And what I mean by that is Shaheed is going to be a feast or famine guy. Don't be shocked if you have a game or two where he has like 2 or 3 catches and like 20 yards. And then he has a game or two where he has 2 or 3 catches and he has like 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. JSN is almost guaranteed to be 100 yards receiving every single game. Like the Cardinals game. It's weird to say that yardage-wise, that was one of his worst games of the year. He had 93. So don't be shocked if, like, when you look at the production from Rashid, it's much more of a feast or famine type of situation, but that's what you're asking of him. His production is based on being a big play guy, where JSN's production is more of a show up, down in, down again, and be a catch guy for us. Be someone that we can lean on. So yes, production or similar production can be right. It's just going to look a little bit different, if that makes sense. It's a different role. It's going to look a little bit different, but the production will be the same. Xander! What up, man? Good to see ya. I feel like now we have Shaheed in the wide receiver room. That'll open up room for Kenneth Walker because they'll be more worried about our receivers. Agreed. So I just talked about it with Alexis, right? Shaheed is going to be the deep play threat. He's going to be the guy that is going long more often than not for your Seahawks offense. Because of the speed problem that he presents, most teams are not going to be able to press him. Most teams are going to be too scared to leave one corner on him by themselves. So what will they do? They will move a safety over the top of Shaheed. Once you do that, that doesn't allow you to put more players in the box. Mina Kimes tweeted this out, I think last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, that the Seahawks, because of the offensive style that they run, they have faced more loaded boxes than any other team in the National Football League. Teams are loading the box against the Seahawks because Seattle wants to run the football more. Well, with Shaheed there and forcing teams to have that safety over the top, you will not be able to add that extra guy into the box now, which will make things easier for the offensive line and Kenneth Walker to run the football and have bigger plays off of running the football. So yes, Shaheed coming in, he is going to open up even more for that run game. And I think that's where some of his production value will jump up as well too. Him just running a deep route, him running a vertical route, trying to get open down the field on a big play, actually is production even if he doesn't get the ball thrown his way. I think you're going to see Shaheed be a gigantic piece to this offense and open up more things than we even really realize. I'm going to get to more of your questions here in just a moment. I don't want to leave anybody out. There's a lot of great fans at Seahawks Today, and I want to make sure that I answer as many questions as possible. But before I do that, I need to let you know about this insane deal going on right now at chatsports.com/Seahawks shirt. It's an insane deal. Look at how sweet this t-shirt is. Emerald City football, nice little green into the white. Seahawks are going to be playing all season long. They're going to go into a long postseason run. So this t-shirt's going to get a lot of use for you. Insane deal. Was $35. Now it's $17. Chatsports.com/Seahawks shirt. Chatsports.com/Seahawks shirt. You don't want to miss out on this potential deal or on this insane deal. Excuse me. Don't miss out on it. Chatsports.com/Seahawks shirt. Chatsports.com/Seahawks shirt. By the way, help us reel in our friends over at Dolphins Today. They are the next team ahead of us. I had shown you guys, hey, the Chiefs report, we're trying to catch them. We did catch them. Thank you guys so much for helping us do that. We need to do the same thing to Dolphins Today. Right now, they're basically 2,000 subscribers ahead of us. Come on in, subscribe to the channel. Let's go catch Dolphins Today. Let's reel them in by the end of the regular season. Robert Hale, what up, man? Good to see you. What will the rotation look like at D-line, especially with Reed out? Morris, Peely, and whoever else plays nose tackle. Now, I think this is important thing to kind of talk about here, Robert, is you called up Quinton Bohanna, so there's a potential for him to work in a little bit more now. I would be intrigued to see. I know he's not the same size, but maybe you bump Leonard Williams into D-tackle in certain situations, and then you can play Jared Ivey outside on the edge. You're going to see a lot of Mike Morris, though. You're going to see a lot of Peely and at nose, bounce Byron Murphy out to that defensive tackle spot, which is actually kind of more his natural position. You're just going to see a lot of rotation on that defensive line while Reed is out. Now, the fingers crossed here. I do think he's going to return for you. He ended up having to have another wrist surgery, but there's going to be constant movement at that depth piece for you. And by the way, you even brought back Bubba Thomas on the practice squad. Maybe there's some opportunities for him to get a little bit of run as well. Oh, Riley Mills. That's another player that could get some run in there. He's still on IR right now for you, dealing with that ACL injury that he had back when he was playing football over at Notre Dame. Depending on when he returns, that could be something important for you as well. Mike Nintendo Master, the rankings legend himself. Should the Seahawks tag Woolen so they can trade him and get something back? I think at this point, you just let him go. I think you let Reek Woolen move on. It was nice while it lasted. It was a good time, but it's time for you guys to divulge. I had someone come up to me one time, and now obviously they were talking about a girl, not necessarily a football player, but they told me that in life there's a time where people will meet and they'll be on the same path, and then at some point, just naturally, they move on. Not everything has to be ugly. Not everything has to be T.O. doing crunches in his driveway saying, I don't want to talk about my contract. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about that. Sometimes you just need to let people go. And I think that's kind of the best option for the Seahawks with Woolen right now. Just let him go. That'll be okay. Trigger! Of the current Seahawks players, who do you think has the highest chance of being a future Hall of Famer? That's a good question, because I think you have more than a few on the squad right now. I think if JSN continues to play 90% of what he's been doing for the next 5-6 years, he's a Hall of Famer. I think if Leonard Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, they're going to have a good argument for it. Now, they're not first ballot Hall of Famers, but they can continue to push that line forward. I also think it's important to look at a guy like Devin Witherspoon. If he's able to stay healthy, unlike this season, the difference that he makes for your team, for your squad, man, the kid is impressive. He's playing extremely well. That's been freaking awesome. Oh, you did say current. Cooper Kupp's a Hall of Famer. That's just he's a Hall of Famer. I don't know that I necessarily like. Yes, he's a Seahawk, but he's a Ram, and he would go into the Hall of Fame as a Ram. But Cooper Kupp is a for sure Hall of Famer. He's gonna be first ballot. That's no doubt. Nicky Manwari also, if he keeps playing the way he's been playing, Hall of Fame potential. Dude's freaking awesome. JC, good to see you. 4-year Army paratrooper. Happy Veterans Day to my fellow vets. No, JC, thank you. And thank you to the other veterans. Happy Veterans Day to those of you who came out and served our country. Man, it's the land of the free because of the brave. JC, love you, man. That's awesome. Happy Salute to Service Month to you. I can't thank you enough. I know that producer Reed can't thank you enough. We as a country can't thank you enough. Obviously, my grandfather, Grandpa Gary Ortner, was a Marine, and he put his life on the line going to Vietnam for this country. And we get to do things like what we're doing here on Seahawks Today because of you and because of your fellow veterans and military members. So from the bottom of my heart, man, thank you so much, JC. Appreciate it. You're the best. Boston! Shout out the dancing sticker, man. That's fantastic. You guys can't see it, but that sticker is doing, I'm going to call it the merengue. It's dancing. It's having a good time. Greg at the buzzer. Love this show. You guys rock. Greg, love you. You rock, man. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Greg, you're the best. You're a beast, man. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And we just keep having supers roll in. We're going to get them up. Don't you worry. We appreciate every single one of you. Greg, you're the best. JC, you're the best. Dan the man Miller, you're the best. We appreciate it. Always showing up for the boys. So do you think they will try and double team both Njigba and Shaheed? If so, would that weaken the box enough for our running backs to eat? Dude, if they double either Njigba or Shaheed, not only is it going to open up things for your running game, it's going to open up stuff for the other wide receiver. Can you, like, if you decide to put too high safety and say, hey, Jaxon Smith-Njigba isn't going to beat us on this side, and Rashid Shaheed isn't going to beat us on this side, Cooper Kupp, Elijah Arroyo, AJ Barner, everything down below is open. Everything short is open. If they do and try and double team your wide receiver unit, not only is the running game going to be open, every other thing is going to be open for those wide receivers. What does Sam Darnold do best? Find the open guy, get the ball to them as quickly as possible. Dude, I hope they try and double team both of those two guys. Jet Hardy! What up, man? Do you think Sean McVay stole our 13 personnel scheme? Also, don't you think it will be an advantage for us since our coaches are so familiar with it? Yes, I think it will be an advantage for you. No, I don't think he stole it. Steal is your definition. The Seahawks didn't invent 13 personnel. Sean McVay didn't invent 13 personnel. A lot of what football is stealing. Actually, ironically enough, a lot of what football is stealing from smaller schools or smaller sports. So what I mean by that is NFL steals from college, college steals from NFL, just like college steals from the NFL and high school steals from the NFL. And so what you're seeing a lot right now is teams go smaller at linebacker, they're going smaller on defensive line, and they're going smaller at safety and corner. Why are they doing that? Because we have smaller, faster wide receivers. That's the way that everyone was kind of moving, right? Tyreek Hill, smaller, faster guy. Teams adapted. They got smaller, faster corners, DBs. So now that there are smaller, faster corners, DBs, linebackers, defensive linemen, what our offense is doing, they're getting bigger personnel groupings in to push those smaller guys around. That's all Sean McVay is doing. What I do think will be interesting is how do the Seahawks attack their mass protection when it comes to the passing game, because I think that would be a smart move for McVay and the Rams offense to do. The Buccaneers did it against the Seahawks. Seahawks struggled, didn't get to Baker Mayfield a whole lot. Might be the move that the Rams do as well. Lee Nover! Ooh, that's awkward. Should we be nervous with our starting center? A little bit, yeah. I'd be lying if I said that you shouldn't be nervous at all. When you look at this team, your center position was, according to PFF, was a little bit lower than most, and now you're going with the backup. Now, to be fair, Oluwatimi, before he got hurt and hurt his back, was the starting center, and I think is a very good center. I think him and Sundell are basically even. So what will be interesting to find out is, can he hit the ground running? There was obviously some hiccups against the Arizona Cardinals. I feel a little bit more comfortable that he got a decent amount of run against them going into the Rams, so he's not just getting his first start of the year against the Rams. But there's a reason why you brought in Oluwatimi. There's a reason why he was supposed to be the starting center going into the year. And there is a reason why, he continues to be someone that the Seahawks have looked at as potentially adding into this lineup if the running game didn't improve like it had the last 3 weeks. So, yes, I'm nervous, but not too nervous. If you're hyped just like I am, go in and spam C if you want the Seahawks to win this game tomorrow against the Rams. Spam those C's. I think the Seahawks got a real good shot at beating the LA Rams. And, of course, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you go and hit that thumbs up button, like the video. We always appreciate it. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.